Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome, dear viewers and listeners. I hope you will be fine, happy and healthy, and you will be busy in your activities, as well as you will be busy in watching our language videos as well. And I hope you will improve your English slowly and gradually with the passage of time. Dear viewers and listeners, today we are going to begin the presentation 16, page number 10, intercom 1, unit 1, presentation 16, and that is greeting and farewell formal. You know that what does greeting mean? Good. Salam wa adab. Greeting means salam wa adab. And farewell mean Khuda Hafiz. Farewell mean Khuda Hafiz. Formal mean Rasmi. Formal का माना क्या है? Rasmi. Formal is that greeting or that introduction which is with the elders or which is with the stranger. जो अजनबी लोगों के साथ होते हैं stranger. और विद द एल्डर्स जो उम्र में बड़े लोगों के साथ होते हैं, विद द एल्डर्स, विद द स्ट्रेंजर, और विच इज़ विद द टीचर्स और विद द रिस्पेक्टेबल पीपल. सो वी यूजुअली यूज फॉर्मल greeting. Then formal mean in which we keep the norms and condition, in which we keep the rules regulation. So that type of activity we will discuss today. First of all we will discuss the book one, and after that we will explain it inshallah. So in the book it says, in greeting and farewell, greeting, good morning Mrs. Wilson.
Good morning Mrs. Wilson.
Good afternoon Miss Barker.
Good afternoon Miss Barker.
Good evening Mr. Mann.
Good evening Mr. Mann.
And they have written about that from the good morning they have written from 4 a.m. to 12 noon. After good afternoon they have written from 12 o'clock to 6 p.m. And they have written for good evening from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. The time they have also given. Now the next one is farewell. Farewell mean Khuda Hafiz. What does farewell mean? Khuda Hafiz. So goodbye. Goodbye mean Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye. See you this evening. या see you this evening. खुदा करे कि आज शाम हमारा मुलाकात हो जाए. Goodbye. See you tonight. खुदा करे कि आज रात हमारे मुलाकात हो जाए. Tonight mean आज रात हमारी मुलाकात हो जाए. Tonight mean आज रात. One is last night. Last night mean गुज़श्ता रात, and tonight mean आज रात. जो आज रात आएगी खुदा करे कि उसी रात हमारे मुलाकात हो जाए. Good night. See you tomorrow. Yeah. So good night means shab bakhair. Inshallah we will discuss it now. Now let's talk about the dialogue between Bob and Mrs. Wilson as well. What does Bob say?
Good morning Mrs. Wilson.
Good morning Mrs. Wilson. How are you today? So what does Mr. Wilson and Mrs. Wilson answer?
Good morning Bob, I'm fine, thanks.
Very good. Good morning Bob, I'm fine, thanks. And at the time of the farewell, Khuda Hafiz ke waqt, what does Bob say?
Goodbye Mrs. Wilson, see you tomorrow.
Very good. Goodbye Mrs. Wilson, see you tomorrow. Khuda Hafiz Mrs. Wilson. खुदा करे कि कल मुलाकात हो जाए. So what does Mrs. Wilson say?
Goodbye Bob.
Good. Goodbye Bob. So dear viewers, brother and listeners, we are talk about a greeting and formal greeting. So in formal greeting, at the morning time we say good morning. What does good morning mean? Yeah, Subh Bakhair. Subh Bakhair, good morning. Or we should pronounce our mute here. Good morning, Subh Bakhair. And good morning time is usually from 4 a.m. are from 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. as well, but particularly from 4 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Now we will explain what is AM, what is PM. So from 4 a.m. to quarter to 12 a.m. we usually use good morning. Good morning. सुबह के 4 बजे से दोपहर के 11:45 तक जब अहले ज़ुबान एक दूसरे से मिलते हैं, सो दे से गुड मॉर्निंग टू ईच अदर. इन और डिफरेंट localities and different cultures have different kind of greeting. Our one is assalamu alaikum everywhere, every time. And walaikum assalam is the answer every time. But here when we are greeting in English and the greeting is formal one, so then we say it's the morning time good morning. अगर दोपहर का वक्त हो तो then we say good noon. What we say then? Good noon. Good noon mean दोपहर बखैर. दोपहर बखैर. खुदा करे कि आपका दोपहर खैरियत से गुजरे. गुड नून. एंड गुड नून का टाइम आम तौर पर 11:45 से 12:15 तक होते हैं. इट इज़ फ्रॉम क्वार्टर टू 12 till 12:15. That is the time when the native speaker meet each other. They say such kind of greeting, good noon, at the time of noon. The third greeting is good afternoon. What does good afternoon mean? Sopehar bakhair. Good afternoon means sopehar bakhair. So sopehar are good afternoon. Sopehar bakhair, and there are two type of sopehar: early afternoon and late afternoon. Early afternoon means zohar ka waqt और late afternoon mean asr ka waqt. So good afternoon means sopehar bakhair, and it usually begin from 12:15 till sunset. Till sunset, because in the winter season the sun sets at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and at the summer season here in our country Pakistan the sun sets at 7:30 around about that time as well. So from 12:15 till sunset or 10 minutes before sunset, the native speaker use good afternoon during that time when they meet each other and they want to do greeting. So they say good afternoon, how are you today? This like this. And the next one is good evening. Good evening mean very good, sham bakhair. And sham bakhair they use from sunset to गुरूबी आफ्ताब. सनसेट मीन गुरूबी आफ्ताब. सन मीन सूरज सेट जब सेट हो जाए, गुरूब हो जाए, और टू 11 PM रात के 11 बजे तक और 11:30 PM as well. Suppose there are two person, they walk in a company and they meet each other at their shift changes at 11 PM. So first of all, when they meet each other and they do the greeting, so they say good evening, how are you? Although the time is 11 PM, रात के 11 बजे वक्त है, but they say good evening. Evening here doesn't mean only sham, but it is the greeting of रात के वक्त की जो greeting है, that is called good evening. How are you today? So I hope you will have learned good morning, good afternoon, good noon, good evening, etc. Now we are coming to another activity, dear viewers and listeners, and that is AM and PM. AM and PM. What's the abbreviation of AM and PM? Do you know the abbreviation of AM and PM? AM mean anti-meridium. AM mean anti-meridium. Anti-meridian, and PM mean post-meridium. 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 Meridian का माना जवाल है. Meridian मेरिडियन मीन जवाल। जवाल जब दिन के 12 बजे होते हैं और व्हेन द सन इज अबव अस, द शेड इज नीदर फॉरवर्ड नॉर बैकवर्ड, साया न आगे होता है न पीछे, दिस टाइम इज कॉल्ड मेरिडियन, जवाल का वक्त। और एंटी मेरिडियम मीन, एंटी मीन मुखालिफ जवाल से पहले वाला वक्त, और पोस्ट का माना है बाद में, पोस्ट का माना क्या है, बाद में। सो मेरिडियम के बाद, जो मतलब रात के दिन के 12 बजे के बाद, सो पोस्ट मेरिडियम मीन बाद में, मेरिडियम के बाद, जवाल के बाद, और जवाल वही वक्त होता है मेरिडियन व्हेन द सन इज़ अबव आवर हेड एट 12 o'clock during the day. It is also called midday. And at night time it is also called midnight, 12 o'clock, when it is 11:59. So 11:59 a.m. we will say during daytime. But when it becomes 12 o'clock, so 12 o'clock is 12 p.m. or midday. Similarly at night time, when it is 11:55 at the night, so we will say 11:59 p.m. But when it becomes 12 o'clock at night, so then we will say 12 a.m. So a.m. begin from 11:59, then at night time, then a.m. begin, and it continue till 11:59 during daytime. This is also called midday, and this is called midnight as well. So you will have learned this one as well. There is another activity or another point in this activity as well, and that is the difference between mess और messes. जिसका तलफ़ुज़ तो मेस्टर है और इसका तलफ़ुज़ तो मेस है, इसका तलफ़ुज़ भी मेस है, एंड इट्स प्रोनाउंसिएशन इज messes. So what's the difference between these? We use master for what?
Male.
For male, only for male, whether he is single or married, whether he is small or older, but we use a master. Mr. Nawaz Sharif, Mr. Imran Khan, Mr. Bilal, Mr. Ahmad. This mess we use for what?
Female.
Female. For what kind of female?
Unmarried.
Very good. Which is unmarried, which is single. Such female which is single or unmarried. Single female, or we use it for unmarried as well, which is not married. If a woman write, suppose Miss Fatima, so it is clear that Miss Fatima is unmarried. Qaid-e-Azam's Rahmatullah alayhi sisters, Miss Fatima Jana. So Miss Fatma Jana, she would write, may her soul rest in peace, she would write this Miss before her name, and it was clear that Miss Fatma Jana was an old lady, but she didn't get married throughout her life. She was single in the young age as well, in the old age as well. So Miss Fatma mean that Fatma, it is clearly indicated this Miss that Fatma is unmarried or she is single. The second one is this mess. So this mess, we use it for what? For both we can use it. When a woman want that she doesn't show her marital status, that what is her marital status, so she write a mess between her name, mean इससे उसकी अज़दवाजी हालत की पता नहीं चलती है, whether she is married or she is single. Miss, suppose Miss Salma, if we write Miss Salma, so it means now we are not sure whether Salma will be married or Salma will be a single. Miss Salma. So MS mean we can use it for both, or when a woman doesn't want to show her marital status, she use Miss before her name. Benazir Bhutto, may her soul rest in peace. She would write this mess before her name, and she would write this mess before her marriage and after her marriage with Zardari as well. Miss Benazir Bhutto. And most of the female teachers, etc., they also write this mess before their name. And the third one is Mrs. What is the third one? Mrs. So Mrs का माना यही है, dear viewers and listeners. Mrs mean ज़ौजा. Mrs का लफ्ज़ी माना क्या है? ज़ौजा, के बीवी है. फॉर एग्जांपल Mrs बिलाल, बिलाल की बीवी. Mrs अरशद, अरशद की बीवी. Mrs खलील, खलील का ज़ौजा खलील. So that is used for married one and for ज़ौजा. Usually we write in this way, Mrs Arshad. It means ज़ौजा Arshad. But sometime if a woman write Mrs. Salma, suppose Mrs. Salma, so it clearly shows this message that I am married. I am married and I have a husband as well. So Mrs. mean Zawja, and we use Mrs. for a married woman. So I think, I hope you will have learned the difference between Master, Miss, Miss and Mrs. Master only used for male, Miss used for female but unmarried or single female, and Miss we don't know the marital status of a woman, whether she is married or she is single. From the writing we don't know. When a woman write Miss Fatma, so now we are unsure about her marital status. And the third one is Mrs. Mrs. mean Zawja, and after Mrs. usually the husband name come usually, but sometime or rarely if after Mrs. the woman name came, so it shows that the woman is married. So I hope you will have understand this thing as well. Now, dear viewers, we will discuss our formal greeting. So when we are greeting formally, so we will use in this way. Suppose I and you are greeting, and suppose it's morning time. So good morning, how are you today? Very good, fine, thanks, and you? Or good morning Bilal. अगर आप यहाँ हम बिलाल या उसका नाम कहें, so that is also right. Fine, मैं तो ठीक हो. Thanks, आपका शुक्रिया कि आपने मेरे हालत के बारे में पूछा. And you, और तुम कैसे हो? अक्सर हम ये and you नहीं बोलते हैं. When someone asks you how are you, so we say fine, thanks. मैं तो ठीक हूँ, आपका शुक्रिया, और उसके हालत के बारे में नहीं पूछते हैं. So that is not a suitable way. We should ask about the other person as well who want to ask about us. So and you, we should say and you. So what will A say? Yeah, just fine, मैं तो बिल्कुल ठीक हो, या pretty good, काफ़ी अच्छा हो, और not too bad mean ठीक हो, बुरा नहीं हो, or very well. One we will say, we can't say all these things. Let's begin once again. Good, suppose it is afternoon time. Good afternoon Bilal, how are you today?
Fine, thanks, and you, sir?
Good, pretty good. Suppose it is evening time. You should ask me evening time.
Good evening, sir. How are you today?
Very good, fine, thanks, and you Muhammad Umar Farooq?
Just fine.
Just fine, good. अगर परस करें कि ये दोपहर का वक्त है, गुड नून हम कहेंगे, गुड नून. सो व्हाट विल वी से? यू शुड बिगिन. गुड नून.
Good noon, sir. How are you today?
Good, fine, thanks, and you Miss Halima?
Not very good.
Good. In this way we will do that one, right? And now farewell. Farewell mean खुदा हाफिज़. खुदा हाफिज़ मीन जब हम एक दूसरे से रुखसत होते हैं. So how can we will say this structure? So let's practice upon it as well. That is goodbye. Goodbye mean खुदा हाफिज़. Goodbye Mr. Bilal, see you tomorrow.
Bye, sir. See you then. Take care.
वेरी गुड, बाय सर मीन खुदा हाफिज़ सर, सी यू देन खुदा करे कि इसी टाइम मिल जाए। मैंने टमारो कहा तो आप भी मतलब खुदा करे कि कल मुलाकात हो जाए। टेक केयर, अपना ख्याल रखिए। We can say so many words, dear viewers. Goodbye, see you tomorrow. Goodbye, see you soon. खुदा करे कि जल्द मुलाकात हो जाए। Goodbye, see you next time. नेक्स्ट टाइम मीन अगली वक्त। तो हमारा क्लास जो कल जो वक्त शुरू होगा, या अगर हफ्तावार मीटिंग है तो अगले हफ्ते। इफ इट इज़ मंथ ऑन मंथली बेसिस, सो देन नेक्स्ट मंथ। See you at 5 o'clock. Suppose some students are parting from each other, separating from each other, and they again go to the playground at 5 o'clock. So goodbye Bilal, see you at 5 o'clock. खुदा करे कि 5 बजे मुलाकात हो जाए। और see you at 5 PM, खुदा करे कि 5 बजे दोपहर के मुलाकात हो जाए। So the other will say bye Kaleem, see you then, take care, आप अपना ख्याल के। तो एक वाला फिर कहेंगे you too. So let's begin it once again, I and you. Goodbye brothers, see you tomorrow.
Bye sir, see you then, take care.
Very good. Now you ask me.
Goodbye sir, see you tomorrow.
Bye brothers, see you then, take care. Suppose we will use soon here. Goodbye brother and sister, see you soon. You too. अगर हम कहते हैं कि अगले हफ्ते मुलाकात करनी है हमारा, सो गुड बाय ब्रदर्स, सी यू नेक्स्ट वीक। You too. Good. So that is the summary of this is the short summary of our today activity. But one thing which we will add is good night. What? Good night. What does good night mean? शब बखैर, शब बखैर। खुदा करे कि आपकी रात खैरियत से गुजर जाए। सपोज इट इज़ इवनिंग टाइम एंड वी वांट टू फाट ईच अदर, वी वांट टू सेपरेट ईच अदर, वी डिस्कस समथिंग, वी स्टडीड समथिंग एंड नाउ वी आर फाटिंग। सो एट नाइट टाइम वी विल से गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट ब्रदर, सी यू टमारो। शब बखैर दोस्तों, खुदा करे कि अगले कल मुलाकात हो जाए। सो द अदर वन विल आल्सो से दीज वर्ड, गुड नाइट, सी यू देन, टेक केयर। गुड नाइट, सी यू देन, टेक केयर। नाउ द फर्स्ट पर्सन विल से you too, you too. Yeah, good night. And if we are in the same room, suppose we are gossiping each other or we are studying for the exam and we are in the same room and it's 11 PM or 11:30 PM and we want to go to bed now. So then we lie down on the beds and we want sleep. So at that time one person say good night, see you tomorrow. The other also say good night, see you then, and then they wear the blankets and it means now don't talk, keep silent, so that we should go to bed and we should sleep because we have to get up early in the morning tomorrow as well. So in the same place, good night mean no talking. After good night we won't say good night, how are you? That is totally wrong because good night means शब बखैर, अभी खामोश हो जाओ, अभी सो जाओ, सोने का वक्त है। So wear the quilt, रज़ाइया रखो अपने ऊपर and sleep and go to bed. Good night mean. So I hope you will have learned the today activity. This is very much important about formal greeting, and in formal greeting we usually use good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and we also use AM and PM. Beside these, the difference of master, mess, mess and message we also explained, and we also did the activity in detail. So I hope you will learn this one. Actually, dear viewers and listeners, all the activities are related with each other. So if you haven't seen the other 9 lesson or lectures or activity, you should try to watch them as well on our YouTube channel, and in this way keep with us, stay with us and remain happy wherever you are. May Allah bless you everywhere. Thank you so much for watching the video.